everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio and happy new catalog day. It's my catalog kickoff specials on January 5th and 6th. So I'm going to show you one of the things that you can get for free with a purchase if you make it today or tomorrow. If you missed the video, I also have a video that's a quick walkthrough of this catalog. And this catalog, super quick, I just point out a few things that you might have missed before you place that first order. So you'll want to go catch that. Then let's just take a quick, I can open this up. I feel weird because it's not yet. I'm going to post this on the day that it's allowed, but I still feel like, oh, you can't do that. The card I'm going to do today is this card. So if this card posted probably the day before this, sometimes when I do them out of order, I'm not quite exactly sure, but this card is up. This is my January club card. So all of the information about joining my card club are with this video. I'll go into a little bit of it on this one, but not near to the extent that I do in this one. This is actually their first project. My card club is the cheapest thing. Let's not say cheap, let's say the least expensive of the classes that I offered where you get products sent to you. It is a subscription. That's why I'm able to keep the cost lower, because I continually build in the free product that I get from placing the orders for your things. So this is the first one for January. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take these exact supplies, because sometimes you might not like the stamp set. I don't know how you can like this month. It's by the Bay and it's super versatile, great for masculine cards, great for scrapbooking, great for easy cards like this. But sometimes you might not like it, or you may feel like you have something that's already a tad bit similar. You won't have the alternate that I'm going to show you. There's nothing similar, and I love it. So we're going to take this, and then I'm going to do the alternate. Let's see inside the catalog, because I can open it. I think it's on page 20. So here's By the Bay. In club this month, you're going to get a half a packet of this. You're going to get the pearls, and then I swapped the ribbon over for the pool party ribbon, and it was so I'd be able to do this with it. Then for the alternate, I'm going to take the exact same supplies. Let me show you. We have the ribbon, the pearls, then you get 6 envelopes in card club. Here's your half a pack of paper. And then here are the consumables, and you would get 2 each of these. So you could make this one and still make this one. But these are the consumables then. I have a piece of soft suede, a piece of shimmer white, and then you don't need anything that's die cut for our cards that's a shape. Comes in your packet already die cut. So these are out of the new shimmery green cardstock. This is the supplies for this, and we are going to switch it up. This month, if you purchase $50 from me anytime in January, you're going to get the Milky Dots free. If you purchase $125, you'll get the Milky Dots and the Night of Navy ribbon. You can see all of this in the video, the walkthrough video. For today, January 5th and 6th, my catalog kickoff specials. If you spend $100, you get the 50 and you get the 100 then. And that is 10 hand-stamped cards from my stash. If you spend $225, then you get all of it. You get the Milky Dots, the Night of Navy ribbon, the 10 hand-stamped cards, and you're going to get the stamp set that I'm going to use. So here is Card Club. This is my alternate. And this is my free gift with purchase of $225. And my amounts are before shipping, handling, and tax. So it's $225 in merchandise, and you'll get the perfectly detailed stamp set. Then all month long, if you purchase the 50 or the 125, you get either at 50, the VIP video project, where I mail you those when I mail your thank you gifts. You'll get the supplies for that. If you do 125, you'll get the videos and supplies for both videos. If you spend anything at all, if you spend $5, you still get the video links. But those are the amounts that you need to spend to get the VIP project supplies. So for this is called Perfectly Detailed, and you can see I was intrigued by it immediately because it's a background stamp that can be disassembled, that can be used different ways. Now, when I stamp, whenever we have a new catalog, I do not look at the samples in the catalog because I want to have a fresh start. I don't want to know what was done in the catalog. So I did this and I stamped it, and it's too big for the piece of paper. And then I noticed that they have like put it on a piece of paper and fit that, or done the whole piece of paper. I'm going to show you how I made it work after I did it the way that I did. It's a fun little riff on the stamp set. Very unique, and that's why I wanted to pick it for my free catalog kickoff special. Now, it is huge. You can see it's a big stamp. It's one stamp. I opted to use the Stamparatus just to control it, and because it is, remember we have this. For this card, this blue piece of paper, this is the reverse side of it. That's the sheet I chose. For this one, here's the one that is on the other card. This one I wanted to use this, and this is part of the reason I use the Stamparatus. If I was just stamping it on white or a colored cardstock, I might not care if I messed up and I had to do it again. When you're using beautiful cardstock like this and you don't have a lot of it, then the Stamparatus will guarantee that I stamp it exactly where I want to. Now, it has this holographic feel to it, so that took a little bit of playing as well. Let me make sure my paper is in here straight. And then you can find a line. We'll go about here. If you put this straight on the lines on the paper, then it will stamp straight. And it doesn't really matter where on here it gets. I'm going to flip it this way so you can see it. I'm going to use my Memento. I'm going to color it with blends. When I was done, I could have stamped this in StazOn and it would have dried better than it dries with the Memento. But then I couldn't color with my blends because you really shouldn't color with blends and StazOn. You can. It's not great for your tips as long as you don't do it often. You most certainly wouldn't want to do it at a class or anything if you're a demonstrator because you don't want to ruin your blends. You're also not really supposed to heat emboss and then color with blends, but we're going to make it work. Make sure you get as much as you can the first time, but we're going to do 2, maybe 3. There we go. So it's pretty, right? But it definitely needs more ink to kind of build that up. The first time I did it twice, but I was standing up. I'm not going to stand up on the video. I could. You can't see me. I have on a work shirt, as you can tell. It's mass stamping day here. And this is like my most, you have one of those horrible, awful old sweatshirts that's your most comfortable. I was actually dressed earlier and then I switched because I didn't want to get what I had on inky. There we go. Getting better, right? We're still missing a little bit up in here, but that is because I haven't pressed it. You can look at your Stamparatus and if there's still ink glistening, there we go. I'm going to do one more. My other one I did twice. This one we'll do 3 times and see if it makes any difference. This is the beauty of the Stamparatus celebration. If you don't have one, it's a great time to pick up a Stamparatus because you get free stuff with every $50 and $100 that you spend. So if you get the Stamparatus, I think it's around the $50 price point. I've had mine for a long time, so I'm not exactly sure. There we go. Really pretty. But I laid it aside, and it is not raining here today. Can't blame it on the humidity. But I did set it aside and hoped that it would dry, and it dries obviously on the paper, but on all this holographic stuff, it didn't dry. So I'll show you how to take care of that in a second. Right now, I'm going to put this. We'll see if it's here. I put a tiny bit of seal. I just want to get the flower on this one. Yep, we're going to have it. This is when I did not have this paper in here the first time, and it just stamped all over the back. And it gets a little messy because the back of the Stamparatus, you know, is shiny. So it smeared as well. Perfect. There's one. Look, it has kind of a gray tinge. I'm going to do this 3 times and it will be beautifully black and striking after our 3rd time. There's 2. Already, see how much darker it is than the first time? now the third time. So pretty. That makes it a perfectly stamped. It looks much more like a printed, something you might get printed as opposed to stamped. Beauty of our Stamparatus. Get the stamp set free, and you can put the Stamparatus, if you don't have it, towards your order to get the free stuff. Now I'm going to take this, and the other one probably sat for probably a half an hour before I did this step, and it hadn't dried, but it was still so wet that my clear embossing powder stuck to it. My embossing tray currently has black in it from the project I'm working on over there, so we're just going to go old school and dump this on the paper. And you can see, hopefully you can see how it's sticking to almost everything, even the stuff that's on the paper. Really, really pretty. I'm gonna take a second and heat emboss this. Isn't that pretty? The places that has kind of resisted that iridescent kind of adds to the aged look, and that's really what I was going for. Because the colors that I chose on my beach card lended themselves, I felt, to kind of a vintage feel card. Lots of scrap papers going. Now we're going to color this in. For the most part, I stuck with the blends that I used in the first video. So if you're in club, I'm going to tell you the colors real quick of what I'm using on this one. I added a couple. I have the 900 again. I have dark petal pink. I have light papaya, which is an addition. I have 800. Then this is an addition. This is light calypso coral. I don't think I used the 300. Maybe I did on the first one. I got confused with the numbers. And then I'm adding some mint. Any of the greens would work because we're going to try to match. Remember, we have these little pieces here of the shimmery, so I wanted to pull some green into the card. Now remember, I said when you do your blends with the heat embossing, the embossing stuff can kind of react with your tip. So we're just going to use the brush tip, and we're going to go oh so quick. So I'm going to get these paisleys here on the end. Literally just brush over the top of it. Again, we're going for vintage, so if it's not perfect, it'll just look like after 1,000 years our paint has come off, right? Now I'm going to take my 300 and I'm going to get this section right here. Now this we're going to cut out and put over the top of the flower so I can just go right over the top of it to the edges. I'm not going to do the whole thing because there's no need. And you can see that the blends is also resisting the holographic parts of this paper. Now I'm going to take my light calypso, and you could use any variation of colors, and I am going to do a quick swirl around the centers of my flowers. I'll start with the large ones, and then I'll get all these tiny ones. Now I'm going to take my dark petal pink, and I'm going to get the outline around the edges. Now let's do our pale papaya and do another swoop around our flowers. I'm going to take my 900 and I'm going to add just a little bit of highlights in here with that. Not everywhere. And that looks pretty good for this. I hope you can see the way that it's kind of playing off the background. It's one of those tilty cards. So whoever you send it to, if they put it in the sun at night when the light hits it, it's going to always look a little bit different. Now let's color in our flower. Let's go. I'm going to put my 300 on the centers here. Then let's take our light Calypso. And on this one, I'm going to get all these little lines. Now I'm going to take my dark petal pink and kind of get the edges so it looks like the petals have a little bit of variation to them. Now I'm going to take my 900 and kind of blend some of these together, but not everywhere. This will be the color though that is on mixed kind of with everything else to kind of give it some cohesion. And again, I'm going for, I always call these my winter flowers when I do the colors that are not yellows and bright pinks and purples, because sometimes it's fun to color. We'll get plenty of time coming up here in the next few weeks where we'll start going for the spring look. But right now it's winter and it's fun to color them a little bit different. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And oranges and browns, they're my favorite colors anyway, so it's easy for me to do it. Now, I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to trim around to the edge and I'm going to leave a little bit of a border. I did the same thing the first time I did this, and then it doesn't fit at all, but I want to take the time. Trust me, if you leave this with the border, it's not going to fit on your card front. So you need to get as close to the black as you can, and then I'm going to show you one more little tip. But first, I'll just cut these two main pieces out. All right, so I cut this out. Easy peasy. You just want to leave a little bit of a border. That way, when we go to stick it over the top of this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll have enough, it's enough of a fraction bigger that it can go wherever and it'll be all right. Then this, part of the reason I did it to this side was now you still have this strip that you can use on something else. Let's get, these are the other two pieces that came from that card. All we've done is reverse this piece of paper, but you get half a pack of the paper, so you can use whichever piece you want. This is soft suede. And you can see you don't have to cut like into the patterns, but then I went to put it on here and it's just a fraction too big, not a whole lot. And I thought, well, I could get it to work, but it is gonna get bent when you put it in your envelope. If you're not going to put it in an envelope, if it's going to be like on a wedding card and it's going to go on top and it's never going to go in an envelope, then you could do it like this. But you're also going to have this show on the other side, which is not colors that we have used in this card. Here's what I did. I took these two little flowers here. There's one on either side. And I simply snipped them. And then go right up along this edge here. My neighbors are renovating and they had taken a break. And so I thought, that saw noise has been driving me insane today. I thought I would film. I don't think it was going at the start of this video. They're going now. So I apologize for that noise. We have this. So now we're going to be able to shrink it down a little bit. And then I want, this needs to be able to move. So I'm going to trim just right up close to the black line that goes all the way around. The nice thing is it's broken up from where it's on the embossing, so don't worry about it being perfect. All right, now we have this in pieces. So we have these two pieces, this piece, and these little pieces over here. Let's start by putting our frame on, because that is what we need to fit the best. Make sure we get adhesive everywhere so it doesn't curl, because this paper's been heated. We have that on there. Let's do the top part. And I'm not even looking to match them up, because we'll get it to match in a second. I just don't want it to go off the top of my card. And now it's on there. Now nothing's gonna get squashed all on the front of our card. Just gonna take these little pieces over here. And I didn't do anything else to them. I left them their natural way. I think this one, it doesn't even matter what side they come from. And I'm just going to add them back. You don't even notice. There's so much going on in this frame that as long as you kind of line them up back there, they're fine. Add this. I debated whether or not to pop this piece up, but because I want dimension to my flower, I just left this. Just stick this right back in where it goes. It has to overlap just a fraction from where we've squashed it. And now it fits. I'm going to take my ribbon on this card. This is why I used this ribbon for the club this month, so we'd be able to kind of deconstruct it and do some fun things with it. You can see exactly how I did that in the other one. Here is the leftover from the card I've already made, so I don't need to tear up any more ribbon. On my other card, the actual club card, we did use this fringe piece too. This time I just went the little strings. All right, I've pulled out enough of those. Just come over here where my flower is and add some adhesive. Pick them up, they don't need to be even. I'm just kind of gonna put them in a kind of a V, kind of wherever they go. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just giving some, again, this kind of has a fun old Italy feel to it. Tapestry maybe. We're planning our trip to Scotland. Kind of has, my future son-in-law is going with us. My daughter said, make sure that you tell him that we go in lots of castles. We went to Scotland a couple of years ago and Ireland after. And I lived in Scotland, but when I lived there, you know, whenever you live in a place, you don't do a whole lot of the touristy things. And that was way before I had money to take pictures of things. So we went, I saw, I forgot. But this kind of has Stirling Castle where it has tapestries and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that. Now I'm going to take these. Now I realize that that this is seagrass, but again, on this kind of old world feel, it works perfect. And I don't know that if I wasn't doing an alternate card that it would have even, I can't talk, occurred to me to use this. And we're really changing the look of pretty much the same colors. I used a blue on the other one because I wanted my little bird's eyes to have, here, you can look at this while I find my dimensionals. I wanted his eye to be blue, but for the most part, and I used gray, which I took the gray off in here, and I added the petal pink. Nope, this one has petal pink. I added the calypso coral. Add these here, seal in these random strings, and make sure that sometimes glimmer paper, the texture of it is kind of weird, and it doesn't stick. Remember, this is why we did our flower large. Now it doesn't really matter. It has a whole space that it can go in. Then we have our pearls. And for these, again, they kind of look smashed because they're meant to be more pearly, as in natural pearls that go with this. For this, they'll work perfect. They're old world. They're smashed. They've been around for thousands of years. At least in our little story that we're telling ourselves for this card. I'm going to add a big one here. And then two of the small ones kind of over here. And it's going to help detract from the fact that we have torn our paper and didn't tear it, that we cut it apart. And then the only place I have a large one is down here. You could do another large one up here if you wanted, but we have taken these exact supplies and changed it into this. Literally everything is the same. Here's the shimmer white. Obviously our green seagrass, the ribbon. The only thing that is different is that I used a different piece of the same designer series paper and swapped out 2 colors of Stampin' Blends. But other than that, it is the same. My other one. They're all going to end up looking about the same. So if you want to join the club, you have till the 10th. I do have these that are the organizers that I sent as December Christmas gifts. I have a couple of extras. So if you sign up and I still have them, you will get them. New members will get them. If you purchase $225 on the 5th or 6th, then you will get this stamp set that I used today free. I have so much for the next few days for you guys. So make sure you keep checking back, and happy catalog kickoff day. I'll catch you back here later. Bye.